In just over a decade, Riot Games has evolved from a small video game studio with a single title to one of the most dominant forces in the gaming industry.
And Baker still stands, he has ascended!
With over 180 million active players worldwide, it's hard to imagine that back in 2009, Riot had just released their first ever free-to-play game, League of Legends. But how did a free-to-play game that quite frankly had horrible graphics, bad mechanics, and really bad balancing become a cultural phenomenon, spawning multiple spin-offs, esports events filling stadiums, and even an Emmy-winning animated series? Back in 2006, in the lively tech scene of Santa Monica, California, two passionate gamers, Brandon Beck and Mark Murrell, had a shared vision to create the most player-focused video game company in the world, setting out to revolutionize the industry with ambitions that many of their friends and family thought was crazy. Building a game that would resonate with millions of players wasn't easy, and the stakes were high. I mean, they were putting years of work on the line, not even knowing if it would pay off. They had to balance innovation with risks, pushing boundaries in a fiercely competitive industry, while facing doubt from both investors and the gaming community alike at the time. Inspired by the popularity of the Defense of the Ancients Dota mod from Warcraft 3, Mark and Brandon set out to create a standalone MOBA experience that would capture the hearts of gamers worldwide. The only problem was, they had no experience in game development, and were actually both majoring in business. They had to hire an entire dev team to pursue the project. With a small, limited budget, the development process was a challenging one, marked by limited resources and used cramped office space. They had to be incredibly resourceful, often repurposing assets and experimenting with new gameplay mechanics. It was a constant balancing act between refining the core MOBA experience and adding unique elements that would set the game apart. The team worked for hours on end, rushing to get as much as they could done within 4 months in order to showcase their game at the 2007 Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, California, in hopes that it would capture the attention of investors. Mark and Brandon met with countless potential publishers, but quite frankly, the meetings didn't go as well as they would have thought. And it wasn't even because of the game itself. See, the duo had no interest in selling their game for money. Instead, they wanted to earn money off the back of in-game sales to keep the game accessible to everyone. And while this model was starting to gain some traction in Asia, every publisher in North America just didn't understand the obscure model and found it to be way too risky. They originally just wanted to be a game developer, but when they kept having these conversations with publishers, they quickly realized that they couldn't give any of them the keys to their game, because they knew it would ultimately fail. The game, the experience, the whole concept needed to have a vertically integrated experience, where publishing and development were completely aligned. So after some time of reflecting, they knew they had to take a new approach, and take aim at the horrifying decision to raise venture capital money and publish the game themselves. Following the 2007 Game Developers Conference, Mark and Brandon took to the road hunting for any funding they could get. Over the summer of 2008, nearly a year later, their work for seeking funding proved to be worth it, eventually landing over $7 million from companies like Tencent, Benchmark, and First Mark Capital, along with other prominent figures such as Rich Heitzman. However, despite the financial backing and growing interest in their innovative model, the road ahead was anything but smooth, because unknowingly to Riot, another contender was emerging from the shadows, a studio with a solid reputation and, most importantly, a lot of experience.
Welcome to a world at war.
S2 Games wasn't just another studio, they had some of the original developers behind the legendary Dota mod from Warcraft 3, and their expertise was evident. Heroes of New Earth boosted superior graphics, better character models, and an overall more polished look compared to the scrappy early version of League. On top of that, S2's team had been part of the MOBA genre from the very start. They understood what made these games tick, and their experience gave them an edge. It seemed like Riot was the underdog from the get-go, and both Mark and Brandon were in a panic. Riot and S2 Games decided to release free alpha versions of their games to drum up excitement, and the competition between League of Legends and Heroes of New Earth truly began. In these early days, S2 came out on top. When both games went head-to-head in the pre-release phase, Heroes of New Earth pulled in double the number of players compared to Riot's offering. S2 was winning, and it felt like Riot couldn't catch a break. But just when it seemed like S2 was about to lock down the MOBA crown, they made a decision that would turn the tide in Riot's favor. S2 announced that Heroes of New Earth would become a full-price game upon release, priced at $30. For the Western market, that might have seemed pretty reasonable, but for much of the Asian player base, practically in markets like China where gaming budgets were often much tighter, this was a huge deal breaker. The price tag pretty much alienated a huge portion of their fan base. Suddenly, Riot's free-to-play model seemed like a better deal. Why pay $30 for Heroes of New Earth when you could play League of Legends for free? Overnight, many players who couldn't afford Hero of New Earth's price point migrated to League of Legends, swelling its player base and giving Riot the break they so desperately needed. The shift was monumental. Riot had stuck to their vision of accessibility, and when S2 priced themselves out of reach for many players, Riot was ready to welcome them with open arms. This decision by S2 became one of the most pivotal moments in Riot's early history. While Heroes of New Earth struggled to regain momentum after this misstep, League of Legends surged forward, building a thriving community and evolving into the global phenomenon we all know today. What could have been an underdog story of a scrappy team fighting against industry veterans became something much more. Proof that Riot's vision and strategy were perfectly timed. But the story doesn't end there. This turning point set the stage for Riot Games' rise. But as any player of League of Legends knows, the game's success wasn't just a matter of luck. From the beginning, Riot took an active role in listening to its players, and that close-knit community feedback loop became a cornerstone of the game's identity. Frequent updates, balance patches, and the steady release of new champions ensured the game stayed fresh, something many other games struggled to perfect. Riot's commitment to evolving League of Legends didn't just stop with gameplay mechanics. They continuously introduced theme events, rotating game modes, and rich lore-driven content to keep players engaged. Each new champion release brought excitement, shifting the game's meta and challenging players to adapt. These updates were crucial in preventing the game from feeling stagnant, keeping millions of players invested year after year. By the mid-2010s, League of Legends had become more than just a game. Its rise coincided with the growth of live streaming platforms like Twitch, where League of Legends dominated viewer numbers. And Riot's early investment in esports solidified its place in competitive gaming history. The League of Legends World Championship became an annual event, drawing millions of viewers globally and boosting prize pools that rivaled traditional sports. In 2011, League of Legends officially surpassed World of Warcraft as the most played game in the world, a feat unimaginable for a game that started as a modest project. Riot's combination of community-driven development, a revolutionary free-to-play model, and a relentless pursuit of innovation turned League of Legends into a cornerstone of modern gaming culture. With League of Legends firmly established as a global sensation, Riot Games set their sights on an even bigger goal, turning their game into a competitive powerhouse, and laying the foundations for what would become one of the largest esports ecosystems in the world. In the early 2010s, Riot Games recognized the competitive potential of League of Legends and took bold steps to turn it into a pillar of the esports world. In 2013, they launched the League Championship Series, otherwise known as LCS. a professional League of Legends league that brought structure and legitimacy to competitive gaming. This move was groundbreaking, as Riot became one of the first game developers in the world to take an active role in running a professional league for their title. The LCS became a platform where regional teams could prove their skills, leading to the global League of Legends World Championship. What started as a grassroots competitive scene quickly evolved into an international phenomenon, with Worlds attracting millions of viewers and offering multi-million-dollar prize pools. By 2016, the prize pool for Worlds reached an impressive $5 million, with the winning team taking home over $2 million, cementing League of Legends as a high-stakes global esport. The most iconic moments in esports history, like the rise of the legendary player Faker and the dominance of SK Telecom T1, helped solidify League of Legends' status as a global esports sensation. Faker's mechanical prowess and SKT's reign in the mid-2010s made them household names in the esports world, inspiring a new generation of players and fans. Riot's efforts didn't just change the esports landscape, they shifted mainstream perceptions of gaming as a whole. By investing in professional production quality, global tournaments, and stable player salaries, Riot helped elevate esports to the level of traditional sports in the eyes of the public. And prize pools continued to grow, with the 2022 World Championship boosting a prize pool of over $6 million. This legitimacy was further reinforced by League of Legends broadcasts, making their way onto major sports networks and drawing in record-breaking viewership numbers. Riot's strategic partnerships and consistent promotion of the game helped break down long-standing stigmas associated with gaming. In just a few years, League of Legends went from a competitive game to a legit career path for professional players, casters, and analysts, reshaping the future of both gaming and entertainment. While Riot Games was making waves in esports, behind the scenes, the company faced significant internal challenges, as controversies around workplace culture and legal battles began to surface. In 2018, Riot Games found itself at the center of a major controversy when allegations surfaced regarding a toxic workplace environment, marked by gender discrimination and harassment. Numerous employees came forward sharing stories of a culture that stopped women's growth, leading to a class action lawsuit that rocked the company. Accusations ranged from unequal pay to an overall bro culture that marginalized female employees. The public outcry following these revelations forced Riot to take immediate action. The company issued public apologies and promised a commitment to change, launching internal investigations and hiring diversity consultants to help reshape its corporate environment. Despite these efforts, the scandal left a significant mark on Riot's public image, tarnishing its reputation as a progressive and innovative gaming company. The 2018 workplace culture scandal wasn't Riot's only legal hurdle. Over the years, the company has faced various legal disputes, including tensions with its parent company, Tencent. There have been reports of friction between Riot and Tencent over issues such as creative control and the direction of Riot's titles. Additionally, Riot has been involved in several copyright disputes, some involving character design and intellectual property rights within the gaming industry. These ongoing legal battles have kept the company in the spotlight, complicating its efforts to rebuild its image in the wake of the 2018 scandal. Despite the controversies, Riot Games continued to push forward, expanding beyond League of Legends and further solidifying its influence across the gaming and entertainment industries. In the recent years, Riot Games has made significant strides in diversifying its offerings beyond League of Legends, expanding both its portfolio and its presence in broader pop culture. The first major step came with Teamfight Tactics in 2019, Riot's entry into the auto battler genre. Built within the League of Legends universe, Teamfight Tactics quickly gained popularity for its strategic depth and fast-paced gameplay, securing a foothold in a genre previously dominated by other titles. Following this, in 2020, Riot released Legends of Runeterra, a strategic card game set within the League of Legends universe, allowing players to engage with the rich lore of Runeterra in a new tactical format. These titles demonstrated Riot's ability to expand the League of of Legends universe, while maintaining the high-quality gameplay fans had come to expect. Perhaps Riot's boldest move was its venture into the competitive first-person shooter genre with Valorant in 2020. Drawing inspiration from classics like Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Riot sought to blend tactical precision with something fresh, introducing agents with unique abilities that added new layers to the genre. This innovative mix positioned Valorant as a direct rival to CS, a game that was considered to be a gold standard in tactical FPS titles. Riot aimed to challenge expectations by offering a game that balanced core gunplay with creative agent powers. It was as if CSGO and Overwatch took both of its best elements and fused it into one. While Valorant was making waves, Riot's ambitions extended beyond the FPS realm. Games like Ruined King dove into the lore of League of Legends, offering a rich narrative-driven experience that expanded the world of Runeterra. No one could have expected what Riot Games would do next, but in 2021, Riot Games made an unexpected leap into the world of entertainment with Arcane, a Netflix series that defied every assumption. What was anticipated as a niche project for League of Legends fans exploded into a cultural sensation. The series, with its breathtaking animation and deeply layered characters, didn't just appeal to gamers, it pulled in a global audience, many of whom had never heard of League of Legends. With its complex, emotional storytelling, Arcane shattered the stigma around video game adaptations, becoming one of the most celebrated series of all time. Critics and viewers alike were stunned by how effortlessly it blended gripping drama with stunning visuals, turning an obscure game universe into a mainstream powerhouse.
Season 2 of Arcane just wrapped up, and I can now comfortably say that this is what $250 million should look like. This is a show that looks unbelievable. It is a masterpiece of animation.
One of the best things I've watched all year. Arcane may just redefine what video game adaptations can be, and
Arcane wasn't just a success, it was a turning point. It proved that Riot's universe was far bigger than anyone realized, and with the overwhelming response, it left many wondering, what would Riot do next? With their universe now expanded through new games and groundbreaking media like Arcane, Riot Games has transformed into a multi-entertainment company. But what does this mean for the company's present and future? Looking forward, Riot's expansion shows no signs of slowing down. I'm especially excited for the highly anticipated fighting game 2XKO, helping bridge the gap between fighting game veterans and beginners. On top of that, speculation about a potential MMORPG set in the League of Legends universe has been growing. Riot has hinted at a large-scaled online project, which many believe could open the vast lore of Runeterra in an entirely new way. The idea of exploring League's rich world through a massive living universe has fans imagining the possibilities, especially if this rumored MMO comes to life. There's also talks about League of Legends branching into other genres. Rumors suggest an action RPG might be in development, offering players a more hands-on way to experience their favorite champions through real-time combat and immersive storytelling. This would give fans the chance to dive deeper into League of Legends lore in a way they've never been able to do before. Beyond gaming, Riot's ambitions stretch further. Following the massive success of Arcane, many fans are eagerly awaiting more multimedia projects. With so many untold stories in the League of Legends universe, it's clear that Arcane is only the beginning.